our third semi-finalist. Will it be Top Blokes or Solary?
I mean, Gibbs' comment does make sense, where these teams are essentially untested in this format, right? But that's not to say, like you said, that they haven't had challenges. They might not be able to beat the Vitalities, but they don't need to. It just seems like they need to beat each other, and right now, Solary, as soon as that pass comes in towards Kerrion, goes behind two keepers, and they take the lead.
Yeah, Kerrion was certainly capable of beating the two goalkeepers that are on the goal line there. Not the best start for Blokes, who normally are a team that have so much offensive pressure, can squeeze the life out of their opponents when they're playing well. So an early goal for Solary, who aren't afraid to sit back and defend from what we've seen of them, should be doing them no harm at all. Can Exotic double that lead of a doink into the corner almost. Archie on the sidewall, on the backboard, should I say, to save it. Down the other end comes Flame. Kerrion into the centre. Some decent pressure now coming in for Top Blokes. That should be 1-1 if Archie can get the read. And eventually via Cassio it goes in.
Archie, the man that I have not been able to shut up about across the entire RLCS X format, has ended up assisting Cassio to that goal. Fantastic tap off the backboard. Cassio originally didn't have enough boost to go up for it, but Archie was there in that close shadow position, able to secure it and able to touch the post, Cassio to send it in.
Open game so far. In game number one, you normally have that period at the beginning where both teams are trying to figure each other out, but the way this one started, doesn't seem that we'll have that moment at all as we go 2-1 to Top Blokes. They've turned it around to about 30 seconds.
Cassio, again, just there to poach the goal as and when he needs it, but you always need that man. The net ended up being completely open for him, so he's able to shoot it very simply right into the centre. But Flame, great eye from him. Didn't go for the shot as there was a defender on the corner. Instead gives it to Cassio, and now the ball trickles just slightly towards the Solary net.
And then it's passed out to Kerrion, but Archie and Flame combine to save it, and then Archie can dribble it away via a dunk on Ukis. Good challenge from him. Falls to Kerrion as Cassio coming over towards him. Very good start from Top Blokes, especially considering they, conceded that first goal, which obviously won't mean too much, but when you have all the preparation, you talk game plans, you say, look, how do we beat this Solary team that we've beaten in recent times as well? And then you concede that first goal in about 7 seconds. It can just shake you a little bit, but no signs of that so far from the Blokes.
Yeah, Top Blokes definitely taking the control of this game, I feel. When, despite the fact they lost it early, they have not gone out early, which I think mentality-wise is really strong. Oh. And again, Archie with a really good read from that top ramp, catches it and sends it home.
Solo play as well. He got the block on his opponent, and there he was after it came down off the ceiling. Your man to watch is Archie, Stumpy, and I think he's a lot of people's as well. He certainly seems to have transformed this form of a Loche roster into a much more aggressive, dare I say, much more entertaining team than they were before.
Yeah. So the way that Archie's done it is by being the... It's not even like he's been the offensive player. He's not only been there to shake up their attack a little bit. He had the highest number of average shots, goals and saves per game across stage 2 for Top Blokes. He was straight up everywhere. He did not just pick up one role and run with it. He picked up every role and sprinted away with them.
Into the centre from Archie. And it's in again from Cassio. And Top Blokes really warming up now. Archie, as expected, among everything. He didn't have too much boost, but he still managed to get so much height. And there was Cassio for a hat-trick.
Yeah, once again, Cassio, fantastic third man to come in. He's never going to be committing to an awkward position, Cassio. He always likes to play it relatively safely, and you won't see him push up too far on his own. Top Blokes not conceding that many runaway goals because their positioning is so strong. And there again, you see Cassio on the backboard, not going for it too risky. He already sees that Flame is up to get the block. And Archie with the long shot, and it goes in. Cole, Solary, not in this game despite their early goal.
Yeah, they're not on the race of the tool. They are just feeding Top Blokes 3 goals. There is no way from that position. I don't know whether it was Exotic that was moving up too quickly, maybe trying to force their way back into this one. And now a relatively doable 3-goal difference is 4. And already you're starting to think, this first game is over and Top Blokes are the dominant team.
I mean, I reckon at this point, Scrubkiller needs to be worried about his most recent accolade of getting the most points in a competitive game because any, I think, of the Top Blokes players are kind of like they're coming for him with 5 goals already.
I back all 3 of them, mate. I reckon all 3 of them are going to overtake Scrub's 58 points or whatever it was that he got.
That would be just heartbreaking if you're Scrub for it to last a day.
There's Flame challenging Exotic onto the backboard. Carrying up will beat Archie to this one. He left himself a little boost starved. Probably should have just left that one well alone. Meaning Yukis can come forward. Flame's underneath and Exotic turns it away. You want to see Solary being a little bit more overly aggressive, really. You know, you've got nothing to lose. 4 goals difference in it. You might as well try something silly. Archie is trying something beautiful from the backboard. He's feeling very confident in uncharted territory for him. You know, this is a relatively new player. And he is pulling the strings already in the last 8 of the RLCS X.
I mean, seeing that confidence come out from your new player has got to speak wonders to the captain that is Flame, where he's brought him in and has done a great job getting him involved with the team and making him that comfortable. Obviously, Archie, typically a 1v1 player, has done very well in the 1v1 scene, and this is his foray into the 3v3 world, and he has made an incredible impact thus far.
Cassio's looking so much more creative since Archie has joined as well. Just try to get a ball to roll across the goal line. It did, but there was no one from Top Blokes on the receiving end of it. Why would there be when they've already got 4 goals to their 4-goal advantage to their name? But it is Flame. Exotic has a pass to the center. It's Yukis, but it's ahead of him, is it? Just a little bit, meaning Cassio could read the shot fairly simply. There is a demo on Archie. Now Kerrion always missed his hit into the corner, though. Nothing really working from Solary so far. And on the other end, let's see what Cassio's got. I think he's got this, you know. Almost. Would have been a beauty.
He had the confidence to go for it, though. And even though he missed, it meant that then no Solary players could properly commit to it. He maintains the pressure regardless, and Flame works his way out of that back half. It's going to leave 20 seconds for 4 goals. It's not happening, even if the bump does come in from Yukis onto Archie. Saved again from the line. And this is not the Solary I think anybody was expecting. I put my predictions out on Twitter earlier today, and I did predict a 3-0 to Top Blokes. In my actual prediction, a 3-0 Top Blokes. In no world did I expect for it to be this much of a different game between the two of them. To be honest, it's 6-1. Game number 1. Do you see Solary improving going into game number 2? They have to, right? They're still a top 8 team.
Yes, they'll absolutely improve. I mean, this is not the version of Solary that anybody expected to see. They are a solid trio of players. You know that they can force some pressure for themselves for sure. But we've seen throughout the RLCS X season so far that this is the team that's happy to smash and grab their opponents, to hold it to 0-0. Sneak a goal here and there. And honestly, I didn't say it, but I was thinking after they got that early goal, I wasn't going to say it was going to finish 1-0, but I was going to say that Solary are the sort of team that can really make that early lead turn into a mid-game lead, then turn into an end-game lead just by holding their opponents at some sort of distance. But the way Top Blokes turned it around and scored 6 goals worries me for Solary somewhat. They will improve, but I do think that Top Blokes are the better team here.
I mean, Archie with the near 1,000-point game as well to come out into this series. He is swinging hard. He is sending mortars down range in playoffs thus far. And if anybody hasn't seen much of Archie, I'd implore you to go back and look at some of the VODs that he's been part of. He has been absolutely crucial to transforming the Top Blokes side. And despite the fact, obviously, there was an organizational loss, they have pushed on further and they've had an incredible push so far. Of course, whoever wins this, they will be our 3rd semi-finalist, and they will be playing the winner out of Guild Esports and Magnifico. But there are still a maximum of 4 games left before we find out who that's going to be. Cole, Top Blokes, massive score in game number 1, and you said that Solary will come back into this. Do you see them winning a game in this series, or do you think they'll just put up more of a fight but still be beaten 3-0?
No, Solary are definitely going to get themselves... Well, not definitely. Solary have every chance of getting themselves a game here. You know, we're not going to see the same story times 3. I've wanted it for a long time, a series that just is an absolute smashing. It's fun to see every now and then, but I do not think this will be the one. This is the team that managed to get themselves promoted to what would have been the sort of regular RLCS season had it not all changed. They're now to dig out a result, and they know how to adapt on the fly. But speaking of being quality on the fly, Archie flies that one home.
Archie, my sweet boy, that setup from Flame gets that one tap. I thought he might go for the double again, but he doesn't. He just gets the double tap in the air rather than using that backboard. Tips it over the keeper. That's a 1-0 lead. This time not going to Solary, and instead going the way of Top Blokes.
If this keeps going how it's looking like it's going to go, I will start to worry for Solary. Flame normally so accurate when he has those shooting chances. Couldn't quite get that one on target. but we are seeing a barrage of offense from top blokes. This is what we saw from them against Monkeys in the first qualifier, where Monkeys just couldn't escape. And this is the team that went within 1 goal of qualifying to this very day. So by no means a gimme. Could be 2-0, saved well by Carrion.
We've already seen some incredible passing plays today from the Vitality Dignitas match, and I think we're going to see a few more come out during Top Blokes as well, because they are finding each other frequently. Cassio putting himself in fantastic positions. He's going to have to work on those double taps, though, if he wants to be getting any highlight reel plays. Archie continues with his aerial, though. Goes for the bump and ends up going in. Archie, that is unbelievably cheeky.
Archie has seen his 2 teammates, Flame and then Cassio, get so close to putting on something beautiful, and he decides to improvise his way around another type of goal, onto the backboard, onto the player, then onto the scoreboard for a second time in this second game.
I reckon we call that the Archie ambush, because he takes his momentum from going at the ball straight onto the player in such a weird position as well. I don't imagine we'll ever see a goal like that again, going onto the backboard, then hitting a player off it. But, you know, if it does come up, make sure that Archie ambush is used. I
was going to take the mick, and then I remembered that we do have a move in Rocket League called the Doomsy Dish. So, do you know what? Yeah. I'm all for it. Archie ambush it is.
Good stuff.
In the centres, Cassio, shooting opportunity again. Carrion is very grateful that ball just lofts towards his car. Should have been a better finish, really, but it doesn't matter because you just know what's going to happen here. You get the feeling that Cassio's going to hit that one long. Exotic is underneath the ball, can't do too much with it, and it's going to lead to another opportunity for Top Blokes. That demo might change things, actually, and then Carrion beating Flame to the ball. Archie sees the danger. That's the thing about Archie, you know, it's not just an attack, which you mentioned yourself, defensively as well. Whenever any pressure comes onto Top Blokes, he is the one that will get his car in the way and launch that next attack.
Yeah, I couldn't honestly count on one hand the amount of times that he's gone for something defensively challenging and then he's turned it into a goal-scoring opportunity. It happens so frequently over on the E-League stream, and it's been an absolute pleasure to watch him play. And Flame, the captain, can squeeze that ball under the defender and takes the Top Blokes lead to 3 goals already, faked low with Exotic.
What was Carrion's touch, though? Just a hit into the centre. You'd see that one at any level in Rocket League, just whacking it against the wall. I mean, fair play to Flame. He saw it coming. He was in the right place at the right time, and his finish was cleverly under the goalkeeper. But we need to see so much more from Solary than we are right now. They do have the potential for much more expansive Rocket League than this. It's a double commit again.
Exotic literally just sat in the middle and was essentially Jesus take the wheel. He's like, look, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to like it either way. Archie can come in for the near Doomsy Dish and Flame. Isn't able to sink it. Archie maybe should have taken that himself and given us Doomsy's namesake move, but he won't be able to. Instead, Archie will pick it up in the middle, but it goes straight to Carrion, sends it high where Ukes is waiting, drops it down, and that's nearly an incredible shot. But Archie there, once again, with the save.
Here he is again, and he's got another one into the bottom right corner this time. He is so good against Ukes down the other end. Attempted to go over Carrion, but it didn't happen, and now Ukes has a chance. 1 minute, 30 seconds left. Can Solary get themselves on the board and give themselves something to attack? Yes, they can.
Ukes forced a really awkward situation here. Gets it round Flame, and then forces Cassio to go into the net, and then has to get the backflip to have any chance of getting it out. But Ukes knew exactly where that was going, and can get the first goal in game number 2 for Solary.
Now we need to see them push on. We know this is the team that, when they do have time on the ball, which Blokes aren't giving them any of. Why can't Flame shoot this game? He's missed a few. He's got himself a couple of goals, I think, or 1 goal at least, but there's certainly been some misplaced finishes from him. This one could be a lot more dominant than even the 3-1 is showing. But Archie's going to find Flame now. As you know, Flame didn't have any boost, so leaves it to Cassio. He's up, and he's left it for Exotic. There's no one on the other side. The clearance isn't going anywhere.
I think that was a good idea from Cassio. He basically faked it high because he didn't have enough boost to go for it, and Flame didn't either. So if there's any player going for it, then it's a good opportunity. Archie trying to clear out the defense, gets the double demo. Flame, can he get it central? Exotic, though, has got the composure to send it to the left wing, but Cassio will be waiting and poaching, and Exotic attempts to poach Archie off the pitch.
Ukes is going to go out wide, just straight onto the ceiling, actually, and get another touch, this time out wide to Carrion. Archie finds Flame, who has some boosts. But Carrion closed him down well. If Solary can do something here, we may have a second game on our hands. It's onto the crossbar. Can he get the second touch, Ukis? Yes, he can. 26 seconds, Stumpy. This one's alive.
Ukis looking to be the only player on Solary who's actually fueled his card this morning, because he's scored both goals thus far in this game, and he's been the only one who has put forward any offensive pressure that has worried the Top Blokes defense. We're now within 1 goal. Top Blokes suddenly need to worry.
Exotic as a solo player as well. He's so good with these, even with no boost. Archie just gets his car in the way and buys a few seconds. All of a sudden, though, it's Solary on the attack, and Top Bloke struggling to get out. He's Exotic, but he's missed his touch. How detrimental could that be? Ukis gets something on the ball. Not quite enough to launch anything more substantial than a clearance, and they'll need something in the next few seconds. Exotic finds Kerry, and he's gone for a pass. Archie needs to see it away. Has he got the game management to do so? It's up for Carrion. Flame's going to put it down, I think. And that will be game 2 to Top Blokes, but it was closer.
Yeah, much closer. Obviously, a late goal coming in to force it within 1. But even then, Top Blokes, honestly, still dominated. Archie with over double the amount of points of Flame. He was all over the place once again. He had the only saves on the team. I think half of them came from just when he was in about 10 seconds of play. Archie is a really standout player on this squad, and I think he can't do that unless he has got the comfort of having Cassio and Flame behind him. Flame has done a great job integrating him, and Cassio does a really good job facilitating him.
Flame has done a great job integrating Archie, but I do worry about his shooting. He had 1 goal in that game and 6 shots. I said that he was struggling. I didn't realize it was that bad until I saw the scoreboard after. So the fact that Solary showed signs of coming into this series, they're the sort of chances that if you don't take and your opponent comes back, you are utterly kicking yourself. So the main question mark I've got on Top Blokes at the moment is whether Flame can start finding the back of the net. But the fact that he had 6 shots, Archie had 4 and Cassio had 3, they completely dominated until the last 30 seconds or so. They should be fine, but just something for Solary and their fans to cling on to.
Definitely. I think Solary did have okay defense, and their offense was essentially spearheaded by Ukis, and he not only was the spearhead, he was also the spear pole. So I think we're going to need to have Exotic and Carrion fill in the gaps to get a few more chances out, but Archie, with that first chance of this game, isn't able to convert.
It was converting earlier. Solary get away with this one in the early doors. Archie up against Carrion. Archie does get some sort of read, actually. It's a very good one. So it's the second touch as well. I know. It's the read on the game that he has, the ability to see what every opponent is going to do. And I think that one's just finding its way in. I don't even know how the ball popped to him, but he wasn't making any mistake.
So there were 2 defenders at the back. It was, Carrion and Ukis bumped into each other.
Oh, no.
And then Exotic had to try and race back, stops at the edge of his box, and just watches it go in. The explosion wipes away any smile he might have had on his face. This third game looking to be worrying now, but Carrion with a demolish on Flame, and Archie with a demolish on Exotic means that Archie and Cassio are both able to out-polite each other and leave the ball on that left wing. But the shot on Flame again missing. Cole, you identified that he wasn't taking his shots to score when he had the chance, and this time he messes up at the other end.
Maybe just losing concentration. How simple this series is looking for the Top Blokes so far, perhaps, is the only idea I have, because the Flame that you and I know, Stumpy, is not one that is missing the shot opportunities that he had in the last game, and of course that aerial I think a lot of people watching the stream right now will be able to make. So he needs a little bit of a talking to, just to wake yourself up. You're in the quarterfinals of the RLCS X Regional 1 in EU. Lots of money on the line here. A chance to face Guild or Magnifico, both of whom Blokes would feel are very beatable after they took Guild so close yesterday. So there's a decent run potentially to the finals of this event, as long as they don't get arrogant and take their eye off the ball.
Ukis again receiving that pass from Carrion, putting himself in great positions. Fortunately, can't manage to put anything in though. Ukis again with the chance. And Cole, you mentioned that money is on the line. It absolutely is. If you win here, you straight up double your money from $4,000 to $8,000.
It's big.
It's a really, really big jump. Now Exotic's going to try and push his team to that point. He doesn't, and Ukis does manage to get back. Those rotations were lacking a little bit earlier, and now they've started to realize that they can't leave nobody at the back. They do need to have that counter-attack contingency plan.
Good challenge from Ukis. against Cassio, who had a little dribble going, and now he goes again over the top of Flame. Carrion's the first one to win this. There's a double tap opportunity, and Carrion's going to take it, and Solary had the lead for the first time since the start of game 1.
Solary have life. Carrion utterly unchallenged. Archie having to try and go for it from his own goal line, but Carrion, man, that is a really nice finish. Squeezes it in right below the bar. Solary with the lead. Their fans, you can turn the string back on, guys. It's not over yet.
Cassio's up. Cassio shoots. Yukis should be able to get the save. Puts it out wide nicely. Set up what would have been a transition for Carrion if Flame hadn't got in the way. Now Exotic behind it. Fear his solo plays, the Blokes, but also Fear Archie bundling in and almost forcing yet another goal out of nothing for top Blokes. Just put on the back foot a little bit for now. Some pressure and some goals for Solary. But here they come. Flame in the middle to Archie. Missed by him. Won by Yukis. Cassio puts it into the corner and then backflips, and what would have been the chance for him to pull the trigger.
Now Carrion down the other end gets beaten out by Archie, and Flame cuts him very well. Able to link up in the defense, sent middle by Yukis. Exotic is up first. It's just wide of target. Maybe could have had that on target because he was clear to it by a good half second or so. Flame sending it to nobody.
Yeah, a few more loose touches from top Blokes. What can Archie do? He's up in the air. But Flame's not winning that one. Carrion is. Exotic's underneath it, but Carrion should get the read. Yukis can put it central. I thought that Carrion was a little bit closer to the play than he was. I was starting to get excited there for Solary. But this is a good pass.
Oh.
Not quite put on target, though. Very, very nerve-wracking last minute and 3/4 here. You sense that there's more goals in this one, but I do not know which way they're going at this point.
Solary putting on a much better performance in this game. Definitely turned it on somewhat.
It's more like the real them.
It definitely is, yeah. I mean, these guys haven't got to this point without having some massive results go their way. And like you said, they can only be what's in front of them, and they have done exactly that. Both these teams getting through to Stage 2 from Stage 1. Sorry, completing Stage 2 to get to the playoffs in 4 games, in 4 series total. So, didn't quite go to the 5, but also didn't sweep it in 3. So, very, very well-matched teams here. The final minute, and for once, we need to see a top Blokes goal.
Oh, that is sublime though from Yukis, but it's just hit the post. And almost no boost to work with. Down the other end is Cassio. Carrying on the backboard well to defend it, but we do have top Blokes pressure. We have an Archie shot, it's wide. Here comes Cassio. But it was half between a pass and a shot. And Archie couldn't get on the end of it. So many demos coming in. I don't know what's going on. We've got Flame out the game. We've got Exotic charging down Archie. And a good fake as well.
Oh, great fake from Carrion. The one ability coming out as Yukis sends it high in the last 30. Exotic touches it on nicely. Cassio can defend, takes it around the wall as well. Now Exotic will just be patient and wait for it. Gets around another, uses all of his boost. Does not get anywhere. In the final 20 seconds, Yukis will be looking to waste time here as Carrion takes the ball away from him and can send it long. That might be the final touch that sends Solary to their first win in this series.
You never know. Flame's looking for Archie, and Archie's trying to beat Exotic to the ball, but he's there bravely in the center with not too long left. We'll have one more top Blokes attempt. Here it comes. Flame onto the backboard. Who's challenging this one? Cassio in the middle. Archie up. All the passes are a little bit above their team as opposed to in front of them, so they can really attack it. And thanks to that, it's going to be a grindy, nervous Solary win. And that's a very Solary performance now. That's how we expect them to win these games.
Yep, just edged it by the 1 goal. But they played better than top Blokes. Whenever they had a chance to get a goal, they managed to at least make it threatening most of the time. Obviously, it ended up being that top Blokes had a couple of shots, but nowhere near as many as they did last time. I mean, in this game, they only had 5 shots on the entire team, whereas last time I think it was Archie had that many, or Flame. So definitely shut down a lot more effectively by Solary.
Yeah, Flame had 6 to himself. He did have 1 goal as well. Yeah, it's just trickier for top Blokes, I think. And I do think that the goal that went against Flame in particular, I think it was the Solary equalizer, if I recall correctly, might have just shaken the cobwebs out of top Blokes if they were starting to put their foot off the pedal just a little bit. I think that this is, in the context of this tournament, a game they needed to lose. Because if they made it through against Solary 3-0 without trying too hard and without really being pushed back, they might just, you can fall into that habit of thinking it's a little bit easy, even if it's subconscious. So the fact they're having to work for this one, I believe, will only be a good thing for them if they can make it through against Solary, because me saying that takes away the thought that Solary could well turn this one around. We're about to find out whether they can continue their journey in doing so in game number 4.
If Top Blokes did start to get complacent, I imagine their coach, Rams, who's coached a decent number of top-level teams, he would push them back on track. He would make sure that they are not just sitting on their laurels as Exotic gets the first shot and Flame with the first save.
Archie reads Kerrian's touch as well. Now he can dribble forward, but look at that. Some aggression from Yukis taking him out. But then what was that touch from Exotic? It was a bit nothingy. Solary is still going to need to open up this Top Blokes defense. They do still have some of that Veloce solidity inside them when they need it. They can defend this team with more creativity than that to do anything against them. But that's a good transition. It's long. Yukis into the center, actually reading it. And it's going to fall to Cassio to find Archie. Is there a shot? He has no boost, so no.
Cassio putting on a good show there of making sure that any touch that Solary were trying to get out of their own half, he was meeting it on the wall. He did not let them get very far with it. Now Flame sending it long, a little bit further than Cassio is able to commit to, as Archie then whips it right back at them. Starting to enter a quick game of ping pong as Exotic goes for the pinch. Not quite cooks it though, is he?
Almost. He'll try again, I'm sure, if the opportunity comes up. There's the chance, maybe, if Top Blokes can keep this pressure on. Cassio into the center, but there's no one there. Kerrian puts it out wide towards Archie. Now Yukis high. Pressure just swinging back and forth in this one. This is the sort of game we wanted to see, with both teams showing offensive intent. Yukis towards the middle. If he can bundle it through, it's going to fall to Kerrian, but Flame dodging that one all the way, pushes it to the far corner.
Now 2 minutes approaching, gone without incident thus far. Not really that many shots either side either. There's been one apiece from Flame and Exotic on each team. And now Cassio tries to challenge Yukis in the back third. Archie, the man of the hour, can get that just off the steal. And those stealing passes did force a double commit as well on defense. They're so horrible to try and deal with. If you're a defender and it's a stealing pass, you essentially are in the worst position. That's the demo. That's the shot from Flame and the save from Exotic.
Yeah, great read from Exotic. He had Top Blokes players all around him, had to keep a close eye on the one who was actually taking the shot, and he managed to do exactly that in a very high-pressure situation. Half this fourth game gone, still 0-0. Sort of tight series we expected to see. Yukis looks for Exotic, who is bumping Flame completely out the way. Now Kerrian closes down Archie. Solary getting this challenge as well now. These 50-50s are starting to go their way. And there's another miss from Flame, who's had a shaky series, and Archie has to sweep up and does so via a weaker Kerrian touch.
Now Flame can push up alongside Archie. All three players from Solary in that one corner. Cassio goes up for the double, but Yukis will meet it on the backboard. And Solary's performance since picking up Yukis has been huge. It was obviously a very controversial move to drop Mela Shisu after their RLCS promotion, but look at how far they've come. They haven't just made it through to the top 8. They're putting up a really good fight to make it into the top 4 in our brand new format.
Yeah, it was looking like a poor decision with the off-season results, but this is where it matters. If they can get a goal here, it really would matter. A big deal in this series. Kerrian up against Archie. Kerrian wins it. He can get this next touch as well. That's a good clearance from Flame over towards Exotic, who goes high. Has so much boost still. Goes for the stealing pinch. I said there were more pinches in this one. Exotic went for the ceiling instead of the wall. But again, doesn't quite come out. But he's had a couple of sighters on the pinches.
Flame's looking quite desperate with his touches again. It's very reminiscent of game 3, where he, as soon as he gets the ball, he tries to relinquish control of it as soon as he possibly can, rather than trying to find a teammate. But Archie completely throwing his face at that, wanting to have the ball. And Yukis saves it away. Cassio with the demo on Exotic. Now Archie on target, and the save does come in from Kerrian. And Archie again with the bump. Right now, the Solary defense is scrambled or off the pitch entirely.
Exotic has a pass to Yukis if he can get up quick enough. Instead, it's just a little tap down to Kerrian. Well played him, and Yukis now can dribble it away. Into the center it goes. Kerrian's there almost. Cassio gets there ahead of him. It's Solary looking more likely to get this winner, though. One would assume there'll be only one goal in this one, the way it's gone. Can it be the men from France? Exotic over Archie. Cassio gets the save. Now Yukis into the center where Kerrian has an opportunity, but Flame closed it down quickly this time. You've got to say Top Blokes, top defending as well, because that was really tricky for them.
Archie in the midfield tries to block it away from Yukis. This 0-0 being by far and away the nerviest match so far. Archie with the shot just above target. Exotic, though, backboard save.
Casio on the backboard. Can put this one down maybe. No, he can't because Yukis is there. And now, one more chance, but no boost at all. He's going to pick up this 100. Can he be provided with a redirect? No, he can't. I don't know if that was going into the center for a shooting chance. It didn't quite happen.
It was.
I think this is going to be one of those 7-minute OTs. I'm feeling it.
Let's see if it is. If we do see a Top Blokes win here, they go through into our semis and they earn themselves those very, very vital RLCS circuit ranking points. And if not, then they earn just a few less and a little bit less money, but mainly it's about the pride, surely. Flame sends it long from its own half. Kerrion catches and will take it up. These soft touches from Kerrion and Exotic so far to maintain that control, rather than just booming it away, have been vital to a lot of their success on the follow-up shots.
Exotic gets that read in the backboard and then goes round the corner, or attempts to at least. Casio blocks him, stops him in his tracks. That touch from Flame isn't going anywhere there, and Newkiss can clear long. Solary can do their best to just get themselves embedded in the Top Blokes half. That's a really good pass towards Kerrion. It's going in, but Archie is in the perfect position.
Once again, Archie knew where to be, but this time it falls to Flame. Yukis with a shot on target as well. Exotic forces Archie to pre-jump, but he does manage to get the challenge anyway. Kerrion waiting middle. Casio in net, but he can't get there. Kerrion instead getting that goal. This Solary side has absolutely switched it on compared to games 1 and 2. And we go to game 5. I didn't expect that, to be honest, mate, going into this series.
I mean, the only thing I expected from the way the games have gone in the last couple is the fact that the Solary wins were only 1 goal in it. I think that is pretty much according to script. But, I mean, that save attempt from Casio wasn't too great. I think he thought that Flame would get a piece of it. And then when he didn't, he was just left completely wrong-wheeled on the goal line. And Solary have truly... The key word here is grind. They have ground out a couple of wins in a row. And now suddenly all of this pressure is on Top Blokes. And for Blokes, you do think back to the missed opportunities, to the whiffs, to how easy it all seemed. And you question why you're suddenly in this position.
Yeah, Top Blokes have got a little bit of their own play here to analyse, because it wasn't just Flame necessarily missing a couple of those easier chances. I think there was a few situations where they were defensively passing out, where it's so much more effective. If you find a teammate and just send it straight at them and just bang it their way, that is going to work so much better than just sort of weakly lofting it to the opposition team. And it's so easy to say that from this lofty skybox. But when you're in game, sometimes the ball does fall to you and you just want to get rid. Flame needs to get that mentality out, and he also needs Archie and Casio to be confident the Flame's got the hit and for them to then move up.
It's where communication comes into account as well, knowing, thanks to your teammates' call, that you do have time, that there is a pass in the center, and that there's more you can do than send it right back to your opponent's half of the pitch. But one way or another, Stumpy, we are going to game 5. Solary are on the cusp of an unlikely reverse sweep, and almost a huge dunk from Archie stops me in my tracks in saying that.
Oh, that is an absolutely sensational ceiling tap from Casio in the corner. Takes it around 1, gets 1 hit with a delayed dodge, and then a second pinch it middle. Flame, though, what impeccable positioning from him.
It's going to do him the world of good. It's an easy goal as far as he's concerned. You know, Casio did all the work. But the fact that Flame sees his name on that scoreboard, hopefully will give him the jolt that he needs to return to the quality that we expect from him. The game's only just started. Kerrion can try and get something going for Solary. It falls to Yukis on the walls, mushes it against it. Now Archie goes long, but Exotic, look at the confidence from him, already up. Finding Yukis as well. There's actually a pass here. Almost. Cassian just read it and got in front of Kerrion. Casio, not Cassian.
Prince Caspian has read it. Now Archie again with 1 touch and then edges it away. Casio not quite trusting that Archie deliberately meant to go for that, and so will take it himself. That goes on target and Casio manages to get back in time. And as far as I know, every time the Top Blokes have secured the first goal, they have won the game. So Top Blokes are feeling probably pretty confident right now that at least they're going to be following the trend, and Solary hoping to buck it as hard as they can.
I've led you up the garden path, mate. Game 3, they scored first and then lost 2-1. I'm sorry. I've built you up.
Game 1 as well, actually. So actually, both of the times that it's actually the opposite way around to what I thought. It really isn't it? Yeah.
You tried,
so I really gave it a go. I wanted to be stats man like Achieves, but he wears glasses and I don't, so I should never try that again. He's cleverer than I am.
Carrion looked to be finding Ukis, but Ukis leaves it to Carrion. Clever play. Then Ukis does eventually come in. Flame can't reach it. And Solary have what I would say is their best goal this series.
Yeah, really nice play central. Exotic being called off it by Ukis as well. Great positioning from him. Can send it above Flame in the net. Earlier in the series, that wouldn't have been much of an accomplishment, but Flame has started to get better in that goal position. Now 1-all.
Ukis in the corner. Oh, a chance for Archie. He was nailing those into the far corner at the start of this series. Something has spooked the top bloke squad, and maybe it's the way that Solary are playing now. But there is Flame, the fox in the box in Game 5, putting away Archie's dribble.
Look at that double commit as well between Ukis and Carrion too. Flame can get there afterwards, but Archie needed to only beat one for it to be a threat, and he's been gifted beating two. Flame can finish it, but honestly, Solary did most of the work for that goal.
Yeah. Archie, passing opportunity into the center. A little bit close to the wall though, so Ukis can get there. Now we have Exotic up against Cassio. Exotic is going to win it easily. Ukis can reach this ball now. Finding each other with these touches, Solary. So I'm not getting the sense that they're giving up on this one just yet, but Archie will certainly be the danger man, forcing these flip resets, just beating them back with his mechanical skill. Now comes forward Flame. Cassio's going to turn underneath this one, I think. Carrion will beat him, but it has meant that it forces its way to Archie. He tries a solo play, getting that block, and then Cassio bundles home, and Blokes have started playing again.
Why was there such a weight on the goal here? Look, Exotic tries to do a three-point turn in the net, and Cassio is like, I'll just sort of score it then, lol. That's a 2-goal clear, and once again, I feel Solary sort of beat themselves.
Exotic's going to win this kickoff as he knows, missed it, but he has got the boost. Flame goes around the corner and is going to have to scurry back because he's boostless. Exotic's in this goal, and he's going to need to put this one long. The thing that Solary need very, very soon is to start clearing this top bloke's pressure, because it's really starting to ramp up now. It's just a rerun of Game 1, because it's 4-1 now.
Yeah, it's only a rerun of Game 1 if Cassio gets the hat trick. He's currently on 2, so he's still on 4. He's got 100% shooter percentage, though, in this match. Unlike Archie, who has got 5 shots and 0 goals. But
Archie.
Yeah, I know. Come on, pal. This is the top bloke side that we saw earlier on, but they were almost spooked away from by Solary. They were scared that they weren't able to complete it. And Carrion, again, being so slow in the net.
Yeah, he looked really reluctant there. Solary looking down and out at this point. I said I wasn't sensing that they were giving up. Now I'm starting to see those signs. The trust isn't there in defense. The aggression isn't there when going for the ball. The belief seems to be squeezed out by top blokes. It's one of the things they do when they're playing at their best. A 5th goal would be really good for them as well. Oh, but there is a good save from Exotic. Maybe that'll drop some life into Solary.
Now 90 seconds, they need 1 goal every 30. Archie can get that central, and he can also get the dunk on Carrion. Doesn't go in the goal, though, but Cassio can pick it up on that left-hand side. Gets around the defender as well, and also goes to the dish. Flame is there to finish it. Flame's positioning in this last game has been much better than it has been, I think, throughout the rest of the entire series. Earlier on, I think it would have been a little bit too far away from that, and the opportunity would have fallen away from him. This time, much further up, much more confident, and he sends top blokes clear by 4.
He's just got his head back in the game. To me, this series has been a case of Flame playing all right at the start and Archie playing amazing. Then Archie slows down and Flame starts to really struggle. And now we've got Flame picking up his game, finding those finishes. And it just takes all the pressure off top blokes and puts it all on Solary, because they know that when an opportunity comes for the top blokes, it will be taken.
There we are.
Some hesitation in defense from the blokes as well.
Yeah, Ukis gets it central. Archie fancies the mid boost.
Where's Cassio?
Cassio, whilst he's going on a bit of a rotation round, maybe thought that Flame was going to come in behind him for the block and so was moving into the goalward position. But Flame was not ready. That man was upside down. And now with 1 minute left, it's 1 goal every 20 seconds. Actually, slightly bit more of a squeeze. Flame gets it towards Archie. You can do so much with such little boost. Will this be another chance for that? Yes, it will.
Wow. That's the goal of the series now. Look at this. Archie rotating the whole way, spinning his car, getting that glorious second touch. He had so much work to do in that corner, and he's just made it look not easy, but so controlled to make it 6-2.
Throughout this entire series, he has been doing an absolutely phenomenal amount of work with about 40 boost in the tank. He uses it so unbelievably efficiently. He will not burn anything he doesn't need to, and that is the culmination of that effort.
Well, in what has been a very peculiar 5-game series, unless we see one more twist in the tail, it looks as though it's going to be Top Blokes that make it through to the semi-finals. What an achievement from them. Solary going to drop out in the quarters, and we're going to have Top Blokes against either Guild Esports or Magnifico. And as I said earlier, this is the real opportunity for these guys to go all the way to the finals of the first EU regional in RLCS X. And the way they're playing now, as long as they stay on their A game, because there seems to be a big drop as Flame puts that one home to make it 7-2. That's the cherry on top. There does seem to be a big drop between the A game and the B game. Maybe that is sort of all or nothing. They need to make sure they're staying in peak form.
Definitely. I'm happy that series didn't end up going to a 3-0 for our inaugural RLCS cast. I'm very, very pleased with that. Thank you, Solary, for bringing us to 5. But otherwise, Carl, I mean, Top Blokes played how they needed to. They lost it in the middle a bit somewhere. They ended up going on a bit of a meander, maybe lost concentration somewhat. And in the end, they bring it back, and they top and tailed this series. They started off with a 6-1, and they ended it with a 7-2.
What do you think of the way that Flame played? Because he did struggle, and we've spoken about Archie pretty much throughout as their main man. Would you worry for the performance that Flame had?
I think if it ended up being a 3-0, yes, I think I would have done. If it ended up being that they just waltzed through Solary and they got the win straight up, I think that would have been a shame, and I think that would have set Top Blokes up for more disaster rather than it being a good sign that they 3-0'd. This proved that they are not able to just get through to those later rounds by doing not no effort, but they need to keep on top of their game the entire time. That will mean as well that in terms of the RLCS circuit ranking points, that sends Solary home with $4,000, and they also have 150 points. They will be vital in order to get teams through to the major at the end of every single split. Remember, there are 3 splits, 3 majors, ending up in the World Championship. So Solary, they've bowed out thus far in Regional Event 1, but that will not be the end of them, I imagine, going through into Regional Events 2 and 3.
Yeah, I think there's no complaints at all from the way that Solary have played. Dropping out in the quarterfinals, no shame in that at all. But your third semi-finalist are the Top Blokes. And looking at that, Guild Esports and Magnifico have got they're going to struggle a little bit against this team. Got their work cut out for them. Make sure you join us after this break to watch that series and the rest of this final day.